And I'm not talking about 10-inch tall eelgrass. That eelgrass is like 6 foot deep. Like you'll be going trolling and it'll be that far under the water and you get to a hole and you can't even see the bottom. And those fish can just swim through there and spawn. Right. And like he was talking about, the fry can hide. There's bait everywhere, gizzard shad, threadfin shad, brim, bluegill. It's good for the population. It's just figuring out how to catch fish in it is the thing for the angler.
How long do you think that adjustment period is going to be until, because there's a lot of great fishermen in the state of Alabama, specifically Guntersville, guys know that lake in and out. You know, what's the adjustment? How long do you think it'll take for those weights to kind of come back, or those fish to show themselves that you obviously saw while you were there?
Yeah, I think, and you know, it is what it is, but I think our elite tournament there, how me and Caleb called them, and a lot of the top 10, you know, was fishing shallow in, you know, the end of May, in June, when they should have been, you know, smashing them on the ledges. I think that's going to open a lot of people's eyes, and there were still fish getting out deep, but I think it's actually going to help the lake. It's going to spread a lot of people out where everybody's not doing this one thing every time of the year like they're supposed to. But like you said, the caliber of anglers we got, they'll figure it out, and then something else will come along and you'll catch them this new way. I mean, fish are creatures of habit, but till they're getting their heads smashed in every other day, they start tending to go somewhere else, for sure.
We're coming up on, this is the summertime season, right?
Yeah. It's kind of got hot, for sure.
Yeah, so you're going to be fishing grass. We're talking about Champlain. Let's talk about patterns that you are most successful with this season, this time of year.
You know, I used to not be a big grass fisherman. Like I said, I grew up on the Coos and I was a bank beater, but you know, going all these places, you have to learn how to fish. I call it submerged grass or offshore grass. There's really 3 ways I try to attack it. You're going to be flipping it, as far as whether it's matted up or just under the surface, kind of just daubing around. You got chatterbaiting, lipless baits, and then swimming a worm. And then if you've got it really, you know, topped out and matted up and hollowed underneath, you've got the frog bite. So that's really the 3 kind of ways I like to try to approach this. Is the ways I like to fish. And when I see, you know, an area I want to try to attack, I just kind of see what stage the grass is in and then just go from there.
Swimming a worm. That's not high on most people's priority list. We do it up.
Swimming a worm.
We swim in a worm. You said it. Let's talk about swimming a worm.
You know, my favorite one to swim is the Zoom Ultra Vibe Speed Worm. I actually like a lot of people like the bigger one. I like the smaller one. I feel like I get better hookup ratios. I feel like you can catch an 8-pounder just as easily on the regular one as the big one. You got a better hookup ratio, and you know, I normally throw it on like a 3/16 or an 1/8, and I mean, you can. The good thing about it is, if you see a little patch, you can pitch it over there and still work it like a worm, or you can fan cast it like you would a chatterbait or something else like that. But it's a, you know, an alternative to a chatterbait that's a lot more subtle, that could get a bite if you're in a little pressured area. Like, I've never been to the Potomac, but it seems like everybody catches them there on chatterbait, and it's all like right here. I feel like a swimming a worm could be a deal there. I've never been there, but you know, it just seems like that would be a situation where you've got a bunch of boats and you can do something a little bit different.
And I think it is a deal, and it's a deal on the Chesapeake, but it's an underutilized tool.
Did I throw your deal under the bus?
No, you didn't. Him and I both would admit that we probably underutilized that technique.
No doubt.
It's like a finesse presentation.
It is.
You can continue to wind, present your bait a different way when everybody's ripping a chatterbait.
The only you get an issue with swimming the worm if you're in stained water, because it's not going to move near as much water as a chatterbait or something like that would. But in a little bit cleaner water in a pressured situation, I will swim the worm every now and then.
That's interesting.
2 colors, dirty water, clear water. What are you going with on the swimming worm?
I'm probably going to throw a June bug in both.
Okay.
And the only time clear water with a June bug is going to be in Florida.
And the information Bass University provides isn't your basic run-of-the-mill fishing video. This is specific information from A to Z to help you learn, get to the water, and become a better angler quickly.